My name is Bill Spencer, and today I'm joined by my colleague Avdesh Dubey, who's going to present using unleashing the power of the platform. Take it away, Avdesh.
Thank you very much, Phil. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Avadhesh Dubey. I'm a customer program manager in Microsoft Teams product group. Today, I'm going to talk about the unleashing the power of the platform. As we all know that Teams can be extendable. We can integrate some applications there. So I'll be talking about that. Quickly talk about the agenda here. Let me know when you can see my. Okay, yeah. So the agenda is the Microsoft Teams platform overview, the Teams platform capabilities, what we have in Teams, and some of the demos which I'll be talking about, like how to build an app and how to integrate the bots inside the teams. And we recently had a discussions on the app templates. I'm going to cover that as well in my demos. I'll go much deeper into it just to show you how to actually deploy the app templates, which will be useful for the customers. So, as we all know, that Microsoft Teams is a hub for teamwork, a chat-based workspace that enables team to be more productive by giving them a single and secure location that brings together everything in a team needs: the chats, meetings, calling, files, and tools. So Microsoft Team is one place for all the needs which what your team have. So in today's session, I'll be talking more on the customize and extensibility feature of the team, as everyone is aware of the communication and collaboration. So my agenda would be talking about the customize and extend part of it. Many of you use the other services than the Office 365 as well, which results in you having to jump between and spend time in disparate experiences. We build Teams is not only to be the hub of Office 365 services, but for all the services and tools team use on a day-to-day basis. So you can customize Teams with tabs, connectors, and bots, which are the capabilities of Microsoft Teams, to include the apps and services you need. So for example, third-party apps like GitHub or Trello that can be included in Teams. Also, there are first-party apps like OneNote or the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or Power BI can be added as a tab. Uh, and also, we have integration with over 250 partners. So there are over 250 applications are there which can be integrated with Teams if you are using it right now. So for our developer community, we also created an extensible platform to enable the building the apps and to integrate with business processes, which enables you to customize and extend your experience. So one is the first party, second party apps. The second is your third party apps. And third thing is like your line of business apps, which can get integrated with Teams. Now, why this is very important? Because while every team is unique, one thing that is consistent is that every team will need a variety of apps and tools to get their work done. And since there is so much sources things as a universal tool for work, the extensibility of the Teams platform delivers a universal hub for teamwork to infuse all other tools, infuse those tools together. So let me show you how we can do that. So quickly move to the next slide. So as I was talking about, the first part of customizing and extending a Teams is bringing together all the Microsoft Office applications, and allowing you to reduce context switching and create conversation around content, right? So you can see here there are applications like the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Power BI, Forms, Planner, SharePoint, Stream. All these applications can get integrated easily with the Teams. Also, the you need to every day to get job done. So whether or not Microsoft build them, so there are third-party application which you will be using it regularly. So as I mentioned earlier, so our team store currently has over 250 of our partner applications and integration available today, and it's growing. So like you can see here, there is a Poly, Trello, GitHub, Adobe, and there are many more applications that are available where you have off-the-box integration is available. And just to clarify one point here, that these first two layers here are ready to use application available for you. So you can, it is out of the box available. You can just go and integrate these applications. So as soon as you download the Teams, and if you want to use this applications, the only thing is you need to make sure that the ID admin has enabled these applications for you so that you can start using these applications. And
hey,
yeah.
So question for you, because I was looking for ServiceNow with a customer yesterday. It's not, I can't find it in our own environment. Is it, do we have it not enabled inside of Microsoft?
You didn't find in the Microsoft tenant, you mean?
Yeah.
I need to check if it is not enabled, because see, what happens that there are settings available in the tenant level where you can enable or disable these applications.
It's called Now Virtual Agent, right? So ServiceNow is the bot which is available is Now Virtual Agent. To enable it properly, you will need the right license from ServiceNow.
Gotcha. And it's called Now. Okay.
So if you search for Snow, SNOW, or Now, you will see that Now Virtual Agent. That's coming from ServiceNow.
Yeah. How come it doesn't? Okay, gotcha. I'm good.
It's there.
Thank
It's
you.
there in our tenant. You can't install it because you need a license.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Amir. So this is the first part of the applications which I was talking about. The other thing is in the second part, finally. So this is where things gets interesting. So the Microsoft Teams also gives you the ability to extend your experience to leverage the apps and services that your organization has built for you. So the line of business applications, right? And the tools you need to leverage every day as an employee to get work done as a part of your role. And as I mentioned, we call this as a line of business application. So it could be your departmental tools, employee resources, support and information, process and workflows. These also can be integrated. And like recently, like a couple of weeks ago, we did a flow demo as well, where we talked about how these processes can be integrated and automated using a flow with a simple workflow, which any user can do that by configuring it, right? So with this, any question till now on these slides? Looks like there's no questions, so I'll just go to the next one. So as these are the applications, there are over 250 applications which we talked about. These applications are now available. Based on the customer need, if they are already using these applications, it can be easily get integrated with Teams. So now coming to the capabilities, what we have, the value of Teams is that you can bring your existing investment to life, allowing them to render in new ways, powering the back end of the solution. So here you can see that these are the capabilities as a apps or services we have. So the interface would be the tabs, bots, adaptive cards, message extension, task module, and the notification. So these are the capabilities what we have right now. And also using this backend, it could be a graph, SharePoint, Power Apps, or Flow and connectors and webhooks. You can use these and can develop these applications. So for example, if I take an example of Microsoft Graph, using that, maybe you may want to create a bot which can just get the CSV file and create teams for the users, or automating some processes where you may want to create a teams automatically when something happens in the line of business apps. For example, in the Dynamics, if in the CRM system, if there is a new opportunity gets created, it should automatically create a team. So these kind of examples are there where you can actually use this backend and create this application and render in a different way. So it could be a tab, it could be a bot, or it could be adaptive card or message extensions, right? So it's not necessary that each and every capability needs to be used. We can have a simple tab, for example, OneNote or SharePoint site or a Power BI as a tab there, or a bot where we can use like a planner bot, who bot, flow bot, or a forms, or third-party apps like Zira, which is the bot is available for that as well. Also connectors like the RSS feeds where you can configure some of the news feeds and it'll keep sending you those alerts in your team. For example, if you are looking for hashtag called solar energy, you can create a connector using a Twitter where whenever there is a tweet on the solar energy, it'll send you the notification there. The same way, your own system where you have the RSS feed available, like for example, the IT ticketing tool. So whenever a ticket gets raised, you should get a notification. So this is all are the connectors examples. In fact, we did the flow connector as well, where you can configure some of the processes that whenever an email come from this IDs, we should get notified in our team, kind of a thing, right? So this is other example of connectors, and it actually connects to the existing backend solutions and rendering in a different ways, right? And like for the bot example, like as a one-on-one alert with actionable cards or team messages with the adaptive cards, etc. And I'll be talking more on this in my demo so that you can relate what I'm talking about. Okay, so why build for teams? So these are the four things I wanted to talk about. The modernize, like integration and modernizing for developers. So we have the tools available today for you to integrate your existing solution into Teams, but we take that to another level, even better. So when you integrate into a Teams, our platform is extensible, which literally means you can extend the capabilities of your application or services in Teams to allow it to become something more and render in a new ways for the users. So it is truly allowing you to modernize your application and create them for the mobile experience as well. Like, for example, the automation, the second part, which I was talking about, where you can actually automate some of the processes and workflows using a flow, or and also for the manageability, like for example, finally for IT departments, we know that sometimes the customers are worried about the shadow IT, right? So for the IT departments, we can give you the ability to securely manage all your workplace and application from on single applications, right? And also manageability, like for example, the permissions and then the setup policies and all these kind of things, which I'll be showing in my demo as well, that how you can actually set up those permission policies and the setup policies for your applications so that you can manage that. And also the extending the reach for our partners. So building a solution for Teams allows you to tap into the Office 365 users we have around the world, and amazing opportunity to grow and a product with our fastest growing application we have launched. So in summary, I think this is my last slide for in this, and then I'll quickly move to the demos. So these are the capabilities which we talked about, the notifications where you can drive action and timely responses. Then the tabs, you can create your own tabs, and it can be added in a personal scope or in a team scope. Rich cards, it could be a simple card sending you the information, or it could be actionable cards where somebody can be responding to it. I'll show that example in my demo. Then the bots, which drive the focus queries in the conversation flow. So I'll be talking about one of the templates, that how you can use a bot and it can become your expert bot and you get the answers there. There are personal apps, Graph API example I already explained, and then the Power Apps and the SharePoint framework which bridge your existing solutions, like integrating these flow. Like for example, one of the app templates we have is the list, the SharePoint list, where you can actually query some of the information very quickly using that bot. So these are some examples. So any question before I move to the demo? All right, so I'll quickly move to the demo. So before I move to the demo, one more thing I wanted to talk about is that now we understand the basics of what's possible. Uh, I generally, whenever an application get built, there are three things which is very important. So one is the development, like how you can develop the application. And then the second thing is the deployment. And then third is discoverability. So in my demo, I'll be for the development, the tool which we'll be using here is the App Studio, which is the another app which you'll find in the Teams App Store. For a deployment, I'm going to use the app permission policies, that how we can deploy these applications based on the user permissions. And then discoverability, I'll be using the app setup policies. So where we can define that, okay, where the apps would be there, how easy will be available for the users to access that application. And the last but not the least is the managing the application. So I'll show in the Teams Admin Center as well. That is the place where you can manage the application as well.
Hey, and Avadhesh, you just said a lot of things made me nervous, right? Just for my comfort as like a citizen developer, I should be able to manage this.
Sorry?
I'm not a developer, so should I be able to, what you're going to show me, I should be able to do?
Yeah, so even I am not a developer, so I'll be actually showing you how you can develop an application. It's very simple, like a basic application. However, whenever there is a customization is required, yes, we may need a development effort, but the examples and the demos which I'll be showing today, you don't need to be a developer, and there is no coding is needed here. And how you can manage it from the admin center, that I'll show you. So there is no development here. All right, so let me just confirm. Can you see my screen, right? You can see my screen. I just stopped presenting my PowerPoint, and I'll quickly move to a demo. So to start with, sorry, let me bring this here. All right, so this is my demo tenant, and I wanted to talk about that the three things which I discussed. One is the development. So for the development, it's not actually a coding. I'm using the App Studio here. So it is coming here because I searched it. But if you go to the apps here and just search the App Studio, right? In the App Studio, you will find this app here. You need to install it. I already installed it, so it shows me as I need to open it, so I can click on it. And this is how it look, right? And there is a manifest editor here. There you will get an option of creating a new app, right? So I'll start with very simple application. You can see here, these are the application which I have created. So there are many applications using new app and all. I can delete it as well. And it's all in my personal app, right? So I have actually created an app called MS Teams Training, right? So I actually already created it, and I'll just show you what exactly happens when you create it. So basically you click on the create a new app, and that's where you define all these settings. So I'm not using this one. Rather than I'm going to show you the properties of my existing app, which I have created. It looks like exactly the view will be exactly the same. So I'll go and edit the MS Teams training app here, and I click on the edit, and you can see that it exactly shows the new app window, right? Here you can see that the short name, I just put it whatever you want to give, and the long name training videos for the team, and the app ID which you can generate. And the package name is like you can put like this. It doesn't matter actually, the same format which you can put, and it gives you the example as well when you try to enter these things and the version. I just put some descriptions here, the names, and then the website is a Microsoft.com. And this is just HTML website it needed for the privacy statement for this demo. And you can have your icon as well for your applications, and then the colors and everything. These things you can configure. The most important piece here is so I actually created an application, which is just a website. And that website I have added here in an app so that I don't need to remember that application. It can just quickly loads that website here inside my teams. So if you see here in the tabs, I wanted to configure a tab here. So I selected a tab, and the one thing what we need to do is we need to add a application here as a personal tab. So I did that. So basically, if you click on edit, you'll see the name of the tab. You'll see the ID. You can put any unique ID. And then this is one of the YouTube video which I embedded here, which is a Microsoft Teams training video. And I just put the website URL. So this one I added here and I just saved it. The other thing is I have included my additional, so the tab configuration URLs will be the same URL which I added in a tab. So you can see here, this is the URL I added. Can update the configuration. The scope I need to define that do you want this tab to be available for a team or only for the group chat? So based on that, you can define your scope. If you don't want this to be enabled in a 1:1 tab or in the group chat, you can disable this. And all the runs the tab as an app page, full experience in SharePoint. So these are the settings which you can enable and save it. By doing that, my applications will be ready. The only thing what I need to do now here is test and distribute. And I can go ahead and install this app there. When I click on install, it will show here. And if I click on this app, it will load the website here. Now, the app which I designed right now or developed right now, it just a single app right now in my personal scope. So at this time, I can only see this application. Not everyone in my organization would be able to see that. So to do that, what I need to do is I need to go back to the App Studio and going to the manifest editor, finding my application here, which I recently created, or the application which I want to publish in my store. So I can just go and edit this one. And I can just go ahead and test and distribute and install it. So the
Hey,
application.
I've got a question. Is something like this possible to, coach our customers on how to create something like this and have it show up in a tab in the general channel for every team, say at one of our customers? That's where I think something like, so and we could just train them. It's like if you ever have want training, no matter what team you're in, go to the general tab and there will be a training tab there, or something like that. Is that possible through some sort of an admin policy?
So the thing which I'm talking about right now is you can see here when I logged into this client, you see there is one application is showing up here by default. So this is a personal tab. We can configure such policies, which I'll be covering in my next demo, where you can actually define the app setup policies. You can add the applications which you have built, and these applications can be installed in each and every user's PC or Teams client, or you can define, okay, so these set of users will have this application, the other set of user will have the other application. So this kind of configuration also can be done from there. Does that answer your query?
Yeah, I'm kind of like James. We're not
coming to
developers.
the so there is another part is that when you ask that question that okay, you want this application to be available for each and every team which gets created, right? Is that the question?
Yeah, if working with our customers, we create, a Okay, Bill, I'll hold. Bill, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll plow on.
Yeah. So for general, I don't think like for any team which you create, there will be possibility, but for that it requires some kind of a development that whenever a new team gets created, you want one particular SOPs or some document should be posted. Yeah, there is one more scenario where you may want to post some messages there when a new team gets created automatically. So I think there are ways, but this is something I'm talking about is as an app which can be pre-pinned. We call it as a pre-pinning. So that can be pre-pinned in each and every team's client or to the users, some specific users as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you can see here, there is one, if you go to the stores, so when we created a Teams app, now how to kind of push to everyone, right? So this is my internal app store. So this is private app store. And this is where you will see the applications here. So that you can see that this training application is available here, right? So that way you can and once it is available in this private app store, now it is available to all the user to install and configure based on their requirement, right? So it could be, so the website which I added, it could be any of the website, it could be a forms, it could be SharePoint or any other internet portal. The only thing which we need to think of is there will be a lot of questions from the customer side in terms of the single sign-on and other stuff, where we may need to do a lot of some of the effort in terms of development. But the one which I showed you is just simple application. So YouTube is a public and it's HTTPS website, and I just added as a tab and made that application. Okay, it looks like there are questions on the. Is there any specific question we have in the chat?
So there's a question about webhooks.
Can we consume any webhooks in a Teams app as long as it's in JSON? I need to check on this one. But one thing is, as long as it's a secure website, you can add it in a Teams app. All right, so the application demo which I showed you is mainly a simple application. The other thing which I wanted to show you is many of our customers already have the bots, and they might be using these bots anyways in production right now. This is a good opportunity for having that discussions with the conversation with the customer, that if these bots can be integrated with Teams, because there is already development effort has already been made and they are using it right now in production, and integrating the existing bots into the Teams is it's pretty simple if it is on Azure, right? So I just wanted to quickly show you some of the bots here. So let me show you one application. So you can see here, this is very basic bot which has been developed. And I think I won't be able to cover like how to develop a bot or something, because this may take a little bit of extra time. And I think it shouldn't be able to complete in 1 hour. But in nutshell, this is a bot which we created on Azure. And here it is just a Q&A maker, using a Q&A maker. So there are question and answers are there. Some specific Q&A are uploaded there. So for example, there are a lot of queries we get from the customer on the GDPR. So it gives me the some of these options. If I wanted to know what commitments are there in the GDPR terms, I can just select on this. And basically, I've got all these answers directly from Microsoft side. So these answers which we already posted in an article. I just made an application out of it, right? So I just got these questions, I uploaded in the database and created this bot. So it just rendered the information in form of a bot, right? So it has some set of 20 to 30 different questions and the bot. So let me show you how actually that has been configured. So let me open up my Azure here. And you can see here as this is a GDPR bot, and you can take it as an example where customer have already uh, have the bot right now, and we need to integrate it, right? So this is a bot. In the settings, you can see here the names are there. The most important thing for us to integrate the bots is the app IDs for the bot ID, which we need to configure it. And there is a very good blog on the how to integrate the bot. And I'm going to cover the templates as well, where if you go through this template document for deployment guide, it actually covers each and everything step by step. And it is so simple here that how to build a bot and how to integrate a bot here. And I'll be sharing those links post my presentation as well. So basically, this is the bot right now we have on the Azure. And this is the messaging endpoints. It means that that's where the messages are coming. And you can see in the Q&A maker, if you see, this is the knowledge base I've created and coded in the this thing. But developing a bot requires a coding, but uh, developing a bot for like a simple FAQs or a Q&A maker, it becomes easier because there are specific articles are available which you can easily follow and build that. We don't need to develop it, but if there are customer who is already using it, we should know exactly how this has been developed. Even I am not a developer. So you can see here that the questions are there. And you can see those questions which are mentioned in the bot, and it just rendering that information into the teams. And you can add a new questions and again add new questions and answers here. So it will automatically update in the bot. So we actually covered two capabilities of a Teams here in the demo. One is that developing an app as a tab, so that is as a tab. And the second thing is that developing an application on a bot. Now, how to put these applications and deploy these applications, that is the second question. For that, let me quickly go to the admin center here. So I can go to the admin center. I have already created, while this gets loaded, I have already created a policy. I'll just walk you through that, how actually I have created it, because the policy refresh may take time. So I already applied that policy. You can see the Teams app, there are permission policies which you can define. And you can see that this is the policy I have created. So it's very simple. Allow all apps and third-party apps and all the tenant apps. You can actually specify the other policies as well if needed. If you want to block some apps or block third-party apps or a Microsoft apps, you can do that from here. And you can create a set of policies as well. So if you have observed in my client here, you can see this application is by default loaded here, which we call it as a prepin. So how to configure these applications or prepin these applications? So you can do that by going into the app setup policies. I have my own demo policies, which you can create from the portal. You can disable or enable the allow uploading a custom app. So if there are custom apps which you don't want to enable it, you can disable it. Here, this is the custom apps which I have added. So I have actually enabled it. And when you click on add apps, it actually looks for all the application, whatever I have. So now I need to select that which permission policy this should apply. So I'm selecting my demo permission policy, and I can search any application. Like for example, GDPR is the app which we have created, and I want to add this application or as well. So I can actually add here and save it. So this will be the other application which will show in my left trail of Teams client. The one more good thing I can do here is that, for example, specifically for the first line worker scenarios. So for them, maybe these calendars or Teams or the calling features are not that important. They don't. So you can actually prioritize the apps, how that should be shows up in the Teams client. So maybe, for example, for me, GDPR is most important application. So I can move this up so that it will show on the top, and I can save it. So it will render or it will show these application based on how I have configured it here. This policy may take a little bit of time to replicate, but this is how you can create those permissions policies and set up policies here. Any questions? All right, so we talked about the two scenarios and then how we can set these applications. The other important thing which I want to talk about is the third thing is the templates, the app templates. And recently we have released an app called app template called FAQ++. So I just wanted to quickly show you the demo of that application, and I feel that that's very important application, and I think very useful for our customer scenarios. I'll give you some examples as well that in what scenarios that template can be used. So let me quickly move to my Teams client. And let me go to the chat. So I already deployed that template in my Teams client, and I can just search for, or maybe let me go here in the chat. And you can see that this is HR help bot. And with the HR help bot, it gives me the option what I can do. So I can ask an expert for a foreign query. So I'll just click on this, and it will open up a form for me that what is my query. And I'll say that how to install Team app. And description, how to install app and deploy for all the users, right? And I can send a question to the expert. And you can see here that the first thing when I enter this information, it can actually go and look at, it'll go and look at the database. If it finds the answer, it will respond me back. If it is not, then it will assign this ask to an expert. And we have a team configured where whenever these application, if this kind of queries comes, and if there is no answer to it, then it will send an alert here in the general, right? And you can see the questions for expert is here, right? And so when I was presenting, I was talking about the bot, I was talking about the connector, and I was talking about the actionable cards as well, and the adaptive cards. In this examples, actually, we are using all the capabilities. So one is that using a bot, I asked a question. Then we have a configuration, then it is sending me an alert as a connector in this particular team. So this is an example of a connector. Whenever any questions being asked, it is actually pushing the notifications here. Also, it is rendering the information in adaptive card. So you can see here it is as an adaptive card, it is showing up here. And there are actionable messages as well. So here, if I want to start a chat with Avadhesh, I can quickly start chatting with Avadhesh to understand it more. As it's my name, so it doesn't make it won't work. But if you see at the above, there was another query from Jethro. If I just click on this, it will take me to the chat directly with Jethro. Right? So this is the actionable card. So here you can see all the examples. The other thing is another feature what we have in this example is the compose extension or message extension. Now there are many requests are being asked and there are many experts request. Now, if I wanted to know that how many requests are open, how many requests are raised, all these kind of thing, if you click on these three dots here, you will see that there is a HR SME specialist compose extension or message extension is here. Here, I can see the most recent one. And also it shows me the open request, how many requests are open. Generally, it should be empty. Like if somebody wants to review it, they don't want many items here. And then the assigned requests, right? So it actually covers all the capabilities of Microsoft Teams as a platform. Now, good news is this template is available. There is no coding is required. So this template is available in the GitHub. Customer can go and download this template and can start using it immediately. However, if there is any kind of changes they want to make, then that may require a development. But right now, there is no development is required if they want to use as is. So now I was talking to one of the CSM there and in New York area, Matt, and he developed a very good plan on this one. And I want to talk about that scenario for this FAQ plus bot. Also, I'm getting a lot of questions on the operational readiness when we redeploy Teams or any of the Office 365 applications, how to manage it. If there are any queries come, how to manage that. We don't have that many resources and all these kind of questions. Now, imagine if we can use this template for managing the Teams rollout or the adoption activities. I think that would be a good example here because using this template, I can actually put the general questions or FAQs in a database so that whenever user have any specific questions, they can get an answer directly from the bot so they don't need to reach out to the help desk for a generic questions and how to use it, where are the videos, it could be a video link, it could be anything, right? So these database can be built and can be uploaded. The second thing is if there are questions where there is no answers or maybe need SME help, we can define or configure this template as such that it will go to a champions team or V team of Teams project, and the questions will be sent to that particular team or channel. And they can pick up those queries or the questions from the users, and they can respond it back. And they can track also that how many questions and queries are coming up. And also they can see that what kind of questions are coming more. So if they want to update the database on the FAQ side, they can do as well. So this is the another example where this particular template will be useful. So I have given one example. There may be many more. It could be a HR scenario where there will be HR FAQs that can get integrated. There could be IT help desk or ticketing scenarios. There could be a departments where there are sales department. They may have some different queries. They can have their own FAQ plus plus. So that way, there are many different scenarios where this template can be used. Any question on this demo right now? Okay, so the the other most important thing is that sometimes that question comes in our mind that, okay, the template is available, everything is there, then how we can deploy it? So as we did app integration, as we know that how the app can be set up, how the permission and setup policies can be rolled out. The other thing here is, let me quickly show you so the deployment guide, which I was talking about. This is the app template blog, which I'm going to share as well. And in our last session, Nidhi, she covered the app template. So you will find all these details, and I would recommend you to watch that video as well. So we have many applications available right now. Many templates are available, like a company communicator, the FAQ Plus, which I'm talking about. There is a list search. The example which I was mentioning, where you can actually search a SharePoint list and get the required information. So there are many app templates are available, and I would recommend you to go and read this and try to implement this at the customer place. And the other thing is, it has the deployment guide. So in this app template, if you go to any of these scenarios, and if you click on this link, it will take you directly to that particular template deployment guide. And in this deployment guide, it has step-by-step procedure. There are prerequisites. Yes, we need an app service and app service plan. These templates are free. There is no coding is required. You can directly download and use it. The only thing is needed is the Azure subscription and the service plan. And this has the complete step-by-step procedure. I won't be able to walk you through because it may need 45 to 1 hour to completely deploy the app templates. But it has pretty neat all information here, how to deploy and everything in the Azure, and customer can follow that. The other thing is that's where you can actually connect to your Q&A service, where you can upload your database and you can have your own questions and answers configured for the bot. And this is where you can configure the teams where the notification and alert should come. So I would strongly recommend you to go ahead and read these articles, and you can share with the customers as well. So any questions?
Let's open up now for any questions. So I will cut off anything here going forward when I share with customers. Please go ahead and ask your questions.
Do we have anything published or suggested governance on apps and how an enterprise would control them?
So yeah, there are blogs available for there's the overall governance. It includes the apps and the other part of teams as well. Is there any specific thing which you are looking for?
No, I could just imagine how overwhelming this could become from an employee experience point of view if an enterprise opened up for people to start just developing apps. And there could be overlap with apps. So I'm just trying to understand from a customer point of view how they would govern this, and do we have any suggestions on governance?
So the one thing I wanted to say here is this is something which IT or the business will develop. So this is not for everyone. You can control that, who can develop that application, who can load these applications. So those controls are already in place. So you can control that who can actually custom load these application, who can deploy it. You can see that option that how to upload applications or upload a custom apps because I'm an admin. But if I'm not an admin, I won't get that option at all. So IT will have a control on these applications and they can govern that.
For customer success managers, what is the best route to engage with the customer's IT and or business applications teams to have an overview of, just doing, giving certain scenarios